Hi, welcome to another video with Supera Spanish and ESL classes. My name is Libby. Today's video is going to be an advanced English as a second language lesson that covers phrasal verbs. So we're going to be talking about how to use them, what they are, and we're going to be looking at about 15 of the most common phrasal verbs. Before we get started, I just want to say if you are interested in private English as a second language classes, you should send me a message at elizabeth@superalanguages.com. I can help people at all levels, all ages. You can do private classes, group classes. There are a lot of options. Just send me an email at elizabeth@superalanguages.com to find out more. And also you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/superalanguageservices. If you just like and share our Facebook page, that's all you have to do, you'd get 75% off your first online English class. All right, now let's get into it. Let's talk about phrasal verbs. First of all, what is a phrasal verb? This is a topic that gives English learners a lot of trouble. They're really tricky. So a phrasal verb is a combination of a verb and a second word, a preposition or an adverbial particle that combine together and create a whole new meaning. So a word or a verb and then a second smaller word, usually a preposition or adverbial particle, they combine and create an entirely new meaning. So let's take a look at an example. We've got the verb to break combined with up. Break up. So break means, of course, to take something whole and make it into smaller pieces. Up is a direction, but we combine these two words and we have a phrasal verb that means ending a romantic relationship. Here it is in a sentence. They were a great couple. I can't believe they broke up. If they broke up, it means they were dating, they were together. Now they're not anymore. They ended their romantic relationship. Here's another example, another one that uses up. Give up. If you give up, you quit or abandon a goal. Learning English is hard, but you can't give up. Don't give up. One more example, to count on. If you count on someone or something, you're relying on it, you trust it. Don't be late. I am counting on you to help me. If I am counting on you to help me, that means I am depending on you. All right, and the other big question with phrasal verbs, besides how confusing they can be and how many of them there are, is whether or not we can split them. Most phrasal verbs can be split, but some cannot. Splitting a phrasal verb is when you put the object of the phrasal verb between the verb and the preposition or particle that make up the phrasal verb. All that to say, splitting is when you put the object in between the two words that make up the phrasal verb. A phrasal verb is always made of two words. For some of them, they must always go together, but for some of them, they can be split by the object. So here's another example that uses break up. They are a great couple, nothing can break them up. So we had the phrasal verb break up, and it's split by the object them. So some phrasal verbs can be split and some cannot. So one of the phrasal verbs we just looked at as an example, to count on, that's one that cannot be split. You can count on David to be on time. The count and the on must always go together. Another one that can't be split is run into. If you run into someone, it means you encounter them by chance when you are not expecting to. I ran into my teacher at the grocery store. Another one that cannot be split. The ran and the into must go together. Here's one we can split, to throw away. So if you throw something away, you dispose of it. You put it in the trash. Please throw your trash away. This phrasal verb was split by its object. The object of this phrasal verb is your trash. So in this instance, it's perfectly okay to say, please throw your trash away. You can also say, please throw away your trash. Sometimes there are options for how you can handle the word order with phrasal verbs. And honestly, there is not a simple answer when it comes to whether or not we can split a phrasal verb. It's very complicated. It has a lot to do with whether the second word in the phrasal verb is technically a preposition or an adverbial particle. And deciding that difference is something that is it's even fairly tricky for native English speakers. So honestly, the best thing to do is to memorize these new phrasal verbs in the context of a whole sentence. That's honestly the best way to memorize all of your vocabulary in the context of a whole sentence, because it will help you learn not just technically what it means, but how it is used. So here's one weird thing about phrasal verbs and splitting them. If the object of the phrasal verb is a pronoun, so that's going to be a word like me, it, them, her, him, object pronouns. If it's one of those words, then you must split the phrasal verb. So look at this example. It's perfectly okay to say throw your empty cups away. Perfectly okay to say throw away your empty cups. Now let's say I want to replace empty cups, your empty cups, with a pronoun. It's going to be them. It's perfectly okay to say throw them away, but you'll never hear anyone say throw away them. You'll never hear anyone say throw away them. Once we're using a pronoun, we've got to split the phrasal verb. Now we have to split it, if it's a phrasal verb that can be split. So phrasal verbs are really complicated. There are so many of them. A lot of them are really similar to one another. They come with complicated rules, but practice makes perfect. So today we're just going to look at 15 of the most common phrasal verbs and practice using them. First of all, to fall through. If something falls through, it fails to happen. In a sentence, I'm upset that our plans fell through. I really wanted to see you. This means the speaker had plans to meet up with someone, and for whatever reason, those plans did not happen. They fell through. This is a phrasal verb we cannot split. To deal with something is to manage it, to handle it, to survive it, more or less. If you deal with something, it means you're managing it. I can't deal with all this extra work. The speaker saying they can't manage their extra workload. It's too much. This is a phrasal verb that cannot be split. To turn in something is to submit it. You have to turn in your essay by Friday. Did you turn your essay in? By turn in, they mean give it to your teacher to be graded. Turn it in. The speaker is talking about submitting an essay to his teacher to be graded. Turn it in. And this is a phrasal verb that we can split, like you see in this example. Did you turn your essay in? To hang up, this is one you're probably familiar with. To hang up is to end a phone call. End a phone call. You're driving, hang up the phone. And this is a phrasal verb that is usually not split. It's better not to split it. I have heard it split. It sounds a little awkward. It's better not to split it. To work out. To work out is to exercise, to get in some physical activity, to exercise. He looks great. He's been working out. This is a phrasal verb we can't split. Work and out have to go together. Another tricky thing about phrasal verbs, they can have multiple meanings. This is the exact same wording, work out, totally different meaning. It's to solve a problem or conflict. I hope they can work out their problem. They have been fighting, but they'll work it out. It means kind of reach a solution, solve it. And this is a phrasal verb that we can split. So we shouldn't split when it means exercise, but we can split it when we're talking about resolving a problem. To get up, that means either to stand, you were in a sitting position, now you're standing, or to wake up in the morning. As in, what time did you get up? Or is he still in bed? Get him up. Or you should get up and let that old lady have your seat. So in these two examples, the speaker is talking about getting out of bed for the day, waking up. And in this example, the speaker is talking about standing. And this is a phrasal verb that can be split, like here, get him up. To break into, that's to enter by force. If you enter a home or building by force to steal something. They broke into the museum to steal a painting. It means that they came to the museum at night and broke a window and entered without permission to steal something. He installed an alarm after someone broke into his house while he was gone. This is one we cannot split. To look after. To look after is to care for or supervise. Will you look after the children while I'm at the store? So that's somebody asking you to supervise, monitor, take care of the children. And this is one we do not split. Turn down. If you turn something down, it means you said no to it. Never turn down a chance to practice your English. That means never say no to a chance to practice your English. This is a great opportunity. Don't turn it down. So they're talking about saying no to this opportunity. And this is one we can split. Turn it down. Pass up is the exact same as turn down. So this is another strange thing about phrasal verbs. Here we've got one that uses down, turn down. Here we've got one that uses up, pass up. They mean the same thing. They're totally interchangeable. Never pass up a chance to practice your English means the same thing as never turn down a chance to practice your English. And just like turn down, pass up can be split the same way. This is a great opportunity. Don't pass it up. To drop by is to quickly visit a person or place. Can I drop by later? I want to see you. Drop by kind of implies that you're not going to be there for very long. It's a quick and casual visit. This is one we cannot split. Hang out. This might be one you've heard before. Hanging out is spending time together, specifically leisure time, free time, fun time. So kind of hanging out after work or school. I like to hang out with Katie. She's funny. Speaker's talking about spending leisure time, spending free time with Katie. This is one we cannot split. To bring up. If you bring something up, it means you mentioned it or you started a conversation about it. Please don't bring up his father's death. He doesn't want to talk about it today. That means don't say anything about his father's death. Please don't bring it up. That means don't mention it. Don't talk about it. And this is a phrasal verb that we can split, as in bring it up. If you call something off, then you canceled it. To call off is to cancel. I hope they don't call off the game over this rain. They called the game off because of the rain. So that means the game was canceled. And this is one we can split. All right, so now that we've taken a look at those, we're going to do a three-part practice. So on the first one, just a little simple multiple choice. You're going to pick the best phrasal verb to finish the sentence. You should blank this chance to practice with phrasal verbs. You shouldn't pass up this chance to practice with phrasal verbs. Pass up. You could also say turn down. And that means say no to it, walk away from it. Let's go for a run later. I need to blank. And workout is the only one that makes sense here. Workout means exercise. Will you blank my dogs while I am out of town? Look after, as in supervise or take care of. Will you look after my dogs while I am out of town? Go to bed, you have to blank early. 4 up options. Get up, good. Go to bed, you have to get up early. That means wake up. Get out of bed. They had to blank the event because of a bomb threat. Right, call off. They had to call off the event. That means it was canceled. Are you guys friends? Do you blank after school? Yes, hang out. Are you guys friends? Do you hang out after school? So do you spend time together? He asked me out to dinner, but I had to blank him because I'm working that night. And as you can see, this is when we split. Turn him down. I had to turn him down. This is too complicated. I just can't blank it. And as we can see, this is another split one. Oh, well, sorry, that one doesn't have the answer on it, but it is work out. I just can't work it out. This is too complicated. I just can't work it out. That means I can't figure it out. I can't solve it. This class has a heavy workload. Do you think you can blank it? Yes, deal with. Can you deal with it? Can you manage it? All right, now let's do practice part 2. And this one, you're going to have some options for the word order, and you're going to pick the best one out of 3 options. So we've got 3 options here. Using the phrasal verb turn in, you need to turn in your paper, you need to turn your paper in, or C, both are possible. Both are okay. This one is C, both are okay. This is a phrasal verb that can be split. So turn in your paper and turn your paper in are both possibilities. Work out. I hope they can work it out. I hope they can work out it, or both are okay. So this is A. I hope they can work it out is the only one that's okay. Why? Because when we have a pronoun as the object, so a word like him, her, me, it, them, it has to go in the middle of the phrasal verb. It has to split the phrasal verb. So that's why it's I hope they can work it out. We can't say work out it. That's wrong. It has to be work it out. Bring up. He brought up a sensitive issue. He brought a sensitive issue up. Or both are okay. Both are okay for this one. He brought up a sensitive issue or he brought a sensitive issue up. I would say A is better. Most people would probably say A, but B is okay. This is a phrasal verb that we can split, and since we're using a noun and not a pronoun, you don't have to split. So it can be either or. Get up. My son is so lazy, it's hard to get him up. My son is so lazy, it's hard to get up him. Or both are okay. Remember that him is a pronoun. Yes, A. A is the only possibility. Since we're using a pronoun with a phrasal verb that can be split, we had to split. It's hard to get him up. Pass up. You'll have a lot of great opportunities in college. Don't pass up them. You'll have a lot of great opportunities in college. Don't pass them up. Or both are okay. Again, we have a pronoun in the mix. Pronoun, them. Yes, B. You'll have a lot of great opportunities in college. Don't pass them up. A pronoun has to go in the middle of a phrasal verb. Drop by. I'm going to drop later by. I'm going to drop by later, or both are okay. Definitely B. I'm going to drop by later. Drop by is never split. All right, practice part 3. So this is going to be the most challenging section. Just do your very best. So you're going to try and reword the sentence you see using a phrasal verb. So you're going to see a sentence that says one thing. Give me a very similar sentence that says the same thing but uses a phrasal verb instead. Let's spend time together tomorrow after school. Let's hang out. You need to submit that essay by Friday or it will be late. Good, turn in. You need to turn in that essay by Friday or it will be late. His TV was stolen when his home was entered by force. His TV was stolen when his home was broken into. I said no to the chance to go skydiving because I am afraid of heights. Two possible answers here. I passed up the chance to go skydiving or I turned down the chance to go skydiving. Both of them meant you said no. If you don't know, skydiving is a sport where you jump out of a perfectly good airplane. The event was canceled. The event was called off. Called off, canceled. Will you supervise the kids tonight? Will you watch the kids, monitor the kids? Will you look after the kids tonight? Look after. I got out of bed at 6 a.m. I got up. Let's resolve this issue together. Solve it, resolve. Let's work out this issue together. This is one where you can leave it together if you like and split, or you can split. Let's work this issue out together. I hate exercising. Another one that uses workout. I hate working out. All right, you're done. That was 15 phrasal verbs broken down. English is full of phrasal verbs, so expect sequel videos, possibly multiple sequel videos. Check back for more ESL lessons, like and subscribe, find us on Facebook, and don't forget to send me an email if you're interested in taking your English to the next level with private lessons. Thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Libby. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.